Today, I embark in my first Nuzlocke challenge. I hereforth name this run Duke Nukem, as my strategy will be brute force, baby. I came here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of ass. I'm playing gold version on Pokemon Stadium 2 because I can't get an emulator to work on my Mac because it's old, and my childhood copy of Silver, the battery is dead, and my bootleg cartridge of Crystal doesn't work on Pokemon Stadium. For this challenge, I set myself some standard Nuzlocke rules, but I'm adding no grinding on wild Pokemon. The first Pokemon to a route I can catch, but I will only be able to grind on trainers. Well, let's ramble less. Let's leave New Bark Town with a Chikorita I nicknamed Rita McNeil because she's stupid and I'm not afraid to go on record saying that. I went to go to Mr. Pokemon's house, ignoring wild Pokemon along the way. I fought some asshat named... Later, the Popo asked questions and I said his name was John Halo because I ain't no narc.
Power armor is for pussies.
Since I already saw wild Pokemon on these routes, I had to ignore them, but on Route 46 to the north was still legal. There I encountered and caught a Rattata, which I named Beavis, after my first crush. Later, I battled the infamous youngster Joey. His Rattata is a notorious Nuzlocke killer, so I sent Rita out first. His Rattata clearly demonstrated his status as the pinnacle of its kind when it brought Rita down to 1 HP, but to everyone's surprise, I'm sure, Rita managed to survive despite the odds. Well, that pretty much wraps up this Nuzlocke, as everything that comes after will provide no challenge in comparison. But, just for fun, we'll continue anyway. After battling for some experience fodder, for Beavis, some phone scammer called Mom called and asked if she could steal half my money, which I said yes without thinking. I had to call her back since I couldn't fuel her alcohol reliance. On the other side of Route 30, I caught a Hoot Hoot, and after much deliberation, I named it B. I then made my way up Sprout Tower, where unfortunately disaster struck. A lucky critical hit from one of the Bellsprout killed Beavis the Rattata. I guess not all Rattata could be in the top percentage. Beavis, however, didn't stay dead for long as he made his way back to me in the form of a Ghastly. After battling the rest of the trainers in the tower, I received the HM for Flash. Before going to the gym, I went to Rock Tunnel to catch everybody's favorite rock-type Pokemon, Zubat. I named it Booze Hat. After battling the first trainer of the flying-type gym, I lamented my stupidity at my earlier rules, as surely my weak-ass Pokemon could stand no chance. Time to battle Falconer. Falconer sends out his Pidgey first at level 7. I send out my B, my Hoot Hoot, do a quick tackle, and he tackles me back. So I tackle it again, but I missed! And he tackles me, that lucky-ass Pidgey. I go for yet another tackle, and yet he tackles me. I go for another tackle. You know my strategy is Duke Nukem, baby.
I'm gonna kick your ass.
He tackles me back, and then I tackle him, taking down the first Pidgey with a grand 12 health left. And he sends out that monster of a Pidgeotto. I debate sending out another Pokemon, but I think B could do it. I send it out. It sends a gust on me, so I switch out to my Rita McNeil, saving B. Rita takes a gust like a champ. Super effective. I realize my mistakes, so I decide I could take one more attack and use this opportunity to get one more tackle in before I switch to Beavis. I know Beavis can't do much, but I have a plan. The gust does a lot, but I could take another one. I'm gonna hypnosis it. I didn't affect, and I get attacked one more time. I go for hypnosis. This time it works, and Pidgeotto fell asleep, and we are back in action. I switch out to B, which is my strongest Pokemon, only 4 health. And I just start going for tackles. Hopefully Pidgeotto stays for sleep for a long time. And it doesn't do much, maybe 1/8 of the damage. I have a long way to go, and I'm in dangerous territory. B goes for tackle. Pidgeotto's still asleep. He's in the yellow. Into the red. 2 more should do it. Thank goodness Pidgeotto's still asleep. Nuzlocke is gonna give me gray hair. 1 iota. Pidgeotto wakes up and uses gusts and kills B. B is dead. I send out Boo's Hat, my newest Pokemon with 3 HP. And I go for my leech life. I take a gust and I'm regretting my life, but 1 HP. Boo's Hat has it and vindicates B. And great 70 experience along the way. Beavis also gains a level. I still can't believe that we managed to beat Faulkner with only 1 death. Rest in peace, B. May the wings of your feathers drift aloft in the Celtic Sea as your eternal soul will enlighten your youth for many generations to come. Heading south, I received the Miracle Seed, which I put on Rita McNeil. And I caught a Mareep, which I named P-Ram. As I continued making my way to the next town, I battled a lot of random trainers, training P-Ram for later, and it learned Thundershock. Here's where I should talk about Repeat Clause. Basically, if you encounter a Pokemon of a species you already caught, you can skip it until you find a new one. So, with that in mind, I caught a Sandshrew in the cave that I named
Pocket Sand. Yeah.
On Route 33, I caught a Spearow, which I named Captain Jack Spearow. After talking to Kurt, I went to Slowpoke Cave, where I caught a Slowpoke, which I named Soup. I switched Beavis for Soup, and after battling some Team Rocket grunts, P-Ram evolved into Flaffy. Kurt miraculously healed from his prior back injury just in time to miss all of the battles. Gives me a lure ball, and I'm off to the Bug-type gym. Although I'm wary of Bugsy, I have no trouble beating all the trainers up to him with Captain Jack Spearow alone. I of course sent Captain Jack Spearow first, who beat Bugsy's Metapod and Kakuna with almost no trouble. And then it was time to fight the Scyther. Captain Jack pecked away, but the Scyther was too strong for him alone. Captain Jack fell, but P-Ram was there to finish off the Scyther. I received the Sephir badge and TM49 Furry Cutter. Rest in peace, Captain Jack Spearow. May you find food, shade, and rum in the ocean in the sky. But before we head to Goldenrod City, we have to fight once again. I send out P-Ram and he sends out a Ghastly, which he nicknamed Rodaboom. P-Ram has no trouble against Ghastly, then sends out his Quailava, which he nicknamed Ratatouille. P-Ram had some trouble against Quailava, so I switched to Pocket Sand, which took more damage than I thought. I decided to sacrifice Boo's Hat to switch to P-Ram back in, and then I healed it with the Super Potion. P-Ram then finished off the Quailava, but not before being burned. Zubat was up next. His Zubat he nicknamed Quarter Pounder. It was swiftly KO'd by P-Ram. Rest in peace, Booze Hat. As a level 3 Zubat, you did more than I expected. What a hero. Moving right along, in Elix Forest, I caught an Oddish, which I named Mary Jane. I then harassed a random Farfetch'd, and some guy gave me the HM for Cut, which I taught to Mary Jane. I also got the TM for Butthead. Unfortunately, I couldn't teach it to Beavis. On the next route, I caught some Flubber, which I immediately gave to this old guy, along with Beavis. Ignoring the trainers for now and passing straight through Goldenrod City, I made my way to the bug catching contest. In the contest, I caught a Venonat, which somehow lost not to 1, but 2 Kakuna. I named the Venonat Toby because of how much of a loser it is. On Route 35, I battled a surprisingly strong trainer with a Kadabra and caught a Nidoran, which I named Stamley, in honor of my first subscriber. I decided to start training Soup, and after half an hour, I beat a Tangela. After making my way back to Goldenrod, I caught some Great Balls, and the TMs for Thunder Punch and Fire Punch, both of which I taught to P-Ram. I then committed Grand Theft Bicycle and fought the police. They'll probably blame it on. I decided to battle all the trainers to train my team before going to the gym.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Pokemon, strengthen your team. Grinding hard, take no losses. Beat a trainer and I follow my scheme. One's instinct, I won't let my mons die. With several deaths, we miss our comrades. We challenge ourselves for content. When to live with the help from your dad. To win the fight, your opponents, they must die. It's the iris of an Arcanine, a heart attack for each bout. A Nuzlocke to end all other Nuzlockes. I'll win. They observe everyone with the iris of an Arcanine. During that montage, I caught a Drowsy, which I named gpdoes in honor of my content. On that note, please remember to like the video if you are enjoying it, and consider hitting that stupid little subscribe button. This bug catcher said his Venonat won the bug catching contest, what just goes to show how biased those judges are. Stamley evolved into a Nidorino, and I learned that I actually do have to fuel my mother's alcohol addiction after all in order to get a Moonstone. After battling a trainer in the gym, Chicka Marita McNeil evolved into a Bayleaf McNeil. Time to battle Whitney. Leader Whitney sends out Clefairy. And this is a very random battle because it knows Metronome. I have Razor Leaf. I'm going to tackle it down with a few Razor Leafs. It uses Double Slap, luckily not using Metronome. I'm going to use Reflect on my final turn as I can to get as much defense as I can against that Miltank and its deadly rollout. This is the real Nuzlocke killer, this battle, I believe. I use my Reflect here when it has 1 damage to go. And I get a very unlucky metronome. It uses transform and transforms into a bay leaf. My razor leaf will not hit it down in one. I take it out, a critical hit, a couple extra moves so my reflect won't get the full 5 rounds. I switch out to Stamley, and let's deal with this Miltank. Let's hope to not get rolled out and lose the Nuzlocke here. I take some damage to spikes, and I immediately go to double kick because it is special effective. It does go for a rollout right away, but the double kick does quite a hefty amount of damage. It goes for another rollout, and I take it down to its yellow health. The reflect faded though, and I'm nervous, so I go for a headbutt and try to flinch it. It goes for a rollout. I'm almost dead. I go for a headbutt. I recovered using a berry, the one that I won in the bug catching contest for participation. I switch out to Pocket Sand to save Stamley's life. I do not want it to die in this Nuzlocke. Pocket Sand is hurt by spikes. The rollout misses miraculously, so I go for a couple of mud slaps. Miltank uses Milk Drink and regains health. There's an aspect of this fight I was not prepared for. I thought this was a sure deal. Miltank used Stomp, Mud Slap. My accuracy fell. I decided to use this turn to heal. Use one of my fresh waters I collected to heal Pocket Sand. I'm going to go for a fresh water until I get a miss, is my plan. It stomps me. I give this ground type water. For some reason it heals it instead of damages it. But I get a critical hit stomp, and my strategy doesn't work. And Pocket Sand died. Ha-cha-cha-cha. I switch to GP Does, hit that like and subscribe button. He is hurt by spikes. I use this opportunity to heal Stamley with a fresh water. GP Does was always planned to be a fodder, and he dies. Rest in peace, GP Does. Wait, does that mean I'm dead? I switch to Rita McNeil, hurt by spikes, go for a reflect to get that defense, go for a stomp. I'm nervous as hell, get my reflect, and I switch out to Stamley, who now is at full health and should be able to take out Miltank. Stamley is hurt by spikes, get stomped on, have plenty of health left, go for a double kick. Still have plenty of way to go yet. Miltank uses Milk Drink again, regains health. I go for a double kick again. I'm trying to whittle down the health, but I'm fighting a losing battle.
You're pissing me off.
Miltank uses Milk Drink again, almost back to full health now. I'm using double kick, and it's not even in yellow health anymore, even with a critical hit. And I lose my reflect. I get nervous again. I decide to use Leer. Miltank takes a Milk Drink again, is back at full health. I need to do something different. I'm going for Leer to get that defense down. Finally, Miltank misses. Those mud slaps with Pocket Sand are finally paying off. Get another miss, and I start whittling down the health. But this time, with those extra Leers, the double kick is doing major damage, and finally, we take out Miltank, and Whitney's Pokemon are canonically dead. Miltank is dead. Rita McNeil gets up to level 17. We're feeling good. We only killed 2 of our Pokemon in this fight. I thought for sure this was going to be the end of the video, but Morty, we're coming for you, baby. We're going to get that Hive badge. It was a bit scary, but believe it or not, that all went actually pretty roughly accordingly to plan. It is sad to lose 2 of my Pokemon, Pocket Sand and GP Does. Though your lives may not have been short, the effort you made were not in vain. Sudowoodo is a free Pokemon if I could catch it, but I forgot to heal after Whitney. I was so focused on releasing my dead Mons, I then rushed to Sudowoodo and had the fight of my life. Trying not to let P-Ram die and capture Sudowoodo was not easy, but I finally did it and nicknamed the Mon Ligma, because I'm pretty sure I contracted some sort of congenital disease. I think it might be terminal. Now, heading west to Mahogany Town, we battle Psychic Greg. After that, Mom called to say that she bought me some whiskey with our money. That was supposed to be a moonstone. Anyway, when we buy some great balls and see what we can catch on Route 37, which turns out to be a Pidgeotto, I caught it and I named it HM Fly. Stamley, can you TM28 dig it? He can't, as it turns out, so I taught it to Ligma instead. Time to get surf, and that means battling the Kimono Girls. I go against the first one in red first because that surely means she has Flareon, right? Wrong! She uses Umbreon. None of them really pose a challenge. After defeating all of them, I get the HM for Surf, which I teach to Soup. Going to the Burn Tower, we encounter... He says some stuff which I didn't really pay attention to, and he sends out his Haunter. Ligma uses Dig twice, and Haunter goes down. Next, sends out Magnemite, and Ligma uses Dig again. Sends out his Quailava next. And get this, Ligma uses Dig. Huh? Sends out his Zubat last, and I used Dig again for the memes. But it didn't do anything since Zubat is a flying type. So naturally, I used Dig again. But for some reason it didn't work again. I figured third time's the charm, and so I used Dig again. But somehow it still didn't work. I thought I'll have to report for cheating. But in the meantime, I still have beat him. But after using all of my Dig PP, the Zubat was still alive. In the end, I had to use a move that wasn't Dig. Thankfully, Zubat went down sometime after that, winning the battle and earning us lunch money. After that debacle, I head back east to get Rock Smash, and I taught it to Stamley in place of Leer. Back in the Burn Tower, I killed Eradicate instead of catching it. That's not a big loss though. I battled a few trainers in the Burn Tower, though none posed a challenge to the mighty Digma. Also, this guy turned gray, which I think means I killed him. Anyway, I released the legendary beasts, and I'm on to battle the ghost type gym. Guess what happens in the gym? Ligma uses Dig a lot. I also train Soup a bit, and he learns Confusion. And with that, we get the Dig badge and TM30 Shadow Ball. Heading west to Mahogany Town, we catch a Magnemite on Route 38. I named it Recyclops. Recyclops destroy! But before we head on, we head back to Goldenrod to buy some more freshwaters. Training Soup on the trainers along the way, we get a call from Mom. Could our Moonstone be in? Arriving at Olivine City, we meet who is heading out of the gym. Apparently the gym leader is at the lighthouse right now, and unfortunately, we did not get a moonstone. After battling our way to the lighthouse, Jasmine asks us to go across the ocean to Mahogany Town to get medicine for her sick Pokemon. Starting our journey across the ocean, we catch a Tentacool, which I called Ralph, who is watching this video right now. Shoutouts to you, Ralph. Arriving in Cianwood City, we talk to this guy who gives us his shuckle. Don't worry, I'll take very good care of it, I promise. Time to battle the fighting type gym, and maybe he'll just forget about the shuckle if we don't go back. Well, that gym was a little stronger than expected, so we're going to go battle some more trainers first. We're actually going to head back across the ocean and head east to Mahogany Town. And along the way, I catch a Goldeen, which I name in honor of the next town, Mahogany. In Mount Mortar, I caught him a Chop, which I named Mr. Clean. A couple trainers later, and we finally arrive at Mahogany Town. Here, we go north to the Lake of Rage, but along the way on Route 43, we catch a Noctowl. In honor of B, I name it A. A phone call from Mom, and it's a doll. Some John Halo guy made fun of this guy's Pokemon. I thought that guy's name was... And this guy has a hacked Slowbro. What the heck? Wowee! A shiny Gyarados! What luck! A shiny Gyarados! Wow! A shiny Gyarados! Okay, with that over, we talk to Batman over here. Batman returns to his home planet and goes to Team Rocket's hideout in Mahogany Town. Batman has Robin use Hyper Beam on this guy, but wait, doesn't that break the first rule of Pokemon? One shall not use a Pokemon to hurt a human. Or is that Isaac Asimov's first rule of robotics? The second rule is you never talk about Fight Club. And now it's time to battle Team Rocket for some easy experience. And here we experience technical difficulties, and we need to replay the last hour and 15 minutes. I'm no cheater, but I'll take this chance to have another try to catch that Gyarados. What are the odds it'll be shiny again? Like that'll ever happen. Also, that means A, our Noctowl, never really existed. This time in Route 43, I find a Flaffy. Even though I technically never caught one, I am invoking the repeat clause because I currently have a Flaffy on my team. Next, I find a Venonat, and we have a slight urge to punch a wall. Finally, I find a Girafarig at level 15, pretty weak. I give it the name Mario after Mario Batali. Is he still cancelled? If your name is Mario, please leave a comment and I'll respond. And holy hell, I find a shiny Gyarados. A second one, I'm buying a lottery ticket. What are the odds? This time I capture it and nickname it Slinky, everyone's favorite toy. I also feel like pushing it down the stairs. Originally, I wanted to fight these Team Rocket grunts over and over because I thought they spawned infinitely, but they don't. They're still decent experience though, so of course I'll battle them all. I stopped paying attention to the game and kept pressing the A button, and look what happened. Wow, wacky, huh? I'm thinking maybe if I plant its leaf, it'll grow into a new Chikorita, like Groot. I guess we'll check in on it in a few days. Anyway, I add Slinky to the team and we continue battling Team Rocket. Down these stairs, Batman gave me some drugs. Now we have to beat Team Rocket until someone gives us the password. But we were gonna do that anyway. That EXP isn't gonna grind itself. The first password I got was Slowpoke Tail. Oddly fitting, seeing as I beat her with a slowpoke. Slowpoke soup. I decided to tune into the broadcast that Team Rocket is broadcasting, and man, this is a step beyond dubstep. This beat bonks. I got the second password too. It was Raticate tail. Less of a delicacy, but you still have to kill the Raticate just to eat its tail. It's pretty wasteful. Hey, is your name actually John Halo? It must have been a crazy coincidence because I told the police that your name won't... Ouch! Well, I guess it was deserved. I didn't mean to rat you out, I swear. Well, anyway, time to fight the boss Rockets. They have such suck Pokemon. They think they are so strong with their first level Weakamon. This Murkrow gave me the password to the power room. It was Hail Giovanni. Hey, didn't he die in an explosion on an island trying to train a Mewtwo? Rest in pieces, Short King. Batman uses his Dragonite named Robin to use a Hyper Beam on his rocket, breaking the rules of robotics once again. Batman helps me out so I don't have to fight both these rockets at once. To take down those epic jams we listened to earlier, we have to kill 6 innocent electrodes. Legally, I'm allowed to capture these 3 or defeat them in the Nuzlocke. The first one killed itself. It is not a joke. The second one also killed itself. It's a wonder this place stayed operational so long. Hopefully the third one lives long enough for me to rescue it. I did! It saved its life. Please consider calling one of these numbers on screen if you are feeling suicidal. It's tough out there, friend. I named the survivor Gordon Vold because there wasn't enough room for Voldemort. And canonically, Voldemort's first name is Gordon. It's his chosen name, rarely talked about. Batman mumbled through his mask about some stuff, chasing your dreams or whatnot, I don't know. Melodramatic. Because I'm in Mahogany Town and I cleared the way to the gym, even though it's the 7th gym, I decided to go battle it and all trainers inside for that precious EXP. Inside the gym, it's covered in ice and all the Pokemon are icy. I use P-Ram because she has Fire Punch for the ice Pokemon and Thunder Punch for the water mons. She may solo this whole gym. P-Ram gets to level 30 and evolves into an Ampharos, my first fully evolved Pokemon. It's time to fight Price. Price sends out a seal. I send out Soup first to gain some experience, but I see what he can do. He manages to kill his seal after he goes to sleep. Price's Dugong is dangerous, taking Soup down to Red Bar. P-Ram makes her Ampharos debut and finishes off his Dugong easy. He sends out a Piloswine, but it's no match for P-Ram's Fire Punches. I get the Glacier Badge. My Pokemon face no death. I am a Pokemon Master. Whew. It's time to head west all the way back to Cianwood City. There ain't no mountain high enough. There ain't no valley wide enough. And there ain't no river fast enough to keep me from fighting you, Chuck. My mom phoned and she said she got me a rock of that good stuff. I hope she meant a moonstone. Her alcohol has gotten her into some bad places and mixed in with the wrong people. I think she may be doing some hard drugs these days. It sure looks like it, the way she is spending my money. And it's a moonstone! It's not crack! I accidentally talked to the guy who let me raise his Shucky. Whoops. And the potion guy wouldn't buy my nuggets. How embarrassing. Alright, time to phone my mom and stop financially supporting her habits. And it's time to evolve Stamley into Nidoking. Yes, queen! I clean out Chuck's gym easy, and before you know it, it's time to battle Chuck. OMG, Chuck can lift a rock. I sure hope his Pokemon can't lift rocks. Chuck sends out a Primeape. I lead with Soup and hit it with a Confusion. It does major damage, and I decide to set up 6 curses on him, and it hurts his Primeape with a headbutt. Price sends out a Poliwrath, and Soup takes it down to Red Bar in one hit. I get hit with a critical hit Surf. That could be dangerous, but it's already too late. With another headbutt from Soup, I kill his Poliwrath. After the battle, this lady was so impressed she gave me her number and the HM for Fly. Sure, I'll call you later. I won't. I teach Fly to HM Fly. Your destiny has been fulfilled. I then fly to Olivine City, where the girls are sick and need medicine. I save Jasmine Ampharos just in time with her Pokemon. Healthy, she lets it get back to work, and so does she as she heads to her gym, which it should be no problem for Ligma. Time to battle Jasmine. She leads with a Magnemite, and Ligma gets confused turn 1, but it gets to use Dig and gets unconfused, luckily underground, and one-shots that poor Magnemite. With her first Mon easily dead, she sends out a Steelix who tanks Dig. No, you were the chosen one. So I switch out to Slinky, who uses Dragon Rage and makes a joke out of Steelix. Steelix uses Sunny Day for what I cannot say. Jasmine uses a Hyper Potion, so I use a Freshwater to keep fresh. A couple Dragon Rages later, and with Slinky and Red Bar, Steelix goes down. For her last Magnemite, I send out Ligma, who uses Dig, and with that, I get the Hive Badge, as well as TM23 Iron Tail. And how about that? 3 gyms taken back to back to back. No deaths! Professor Elm calls us because he's listening to a radio broadcast that absolutely bonks. What a boomer. Doesn't like what kids are listening to these days. So ignoring him, we attempt to move on. And to my surprise, we succeed, and we battle this trainer, and we haven't even healed from the Steel Gym. I need to get a crappy ball, so I fly to Azalea Town, and Kurt has a fastball ready for me. Theoretically, that does something. In the next route, I find a Weeping Bell. I switch to P-Ram, and with one Thunder Punch, I take it down to Red Bar. I also hit it with a Thunder Wave to show it who's boss. P-Ram falls asleep because that's just how little she cares. And a few Great Balls later, we catch Weeping Bell. I name it Groat. It's like Groot, but it's in past tense, in reference to Bayleaf McNeil. In Ice Cave, I find a wild, nice Pokemon. It's a Golbat, damn it! I wanted Santa, or a Delibird, or an ice Pokemon, anything but a fudging bat! I name it Ozzy, as I want to eat its head. I accidentally almost kill another wild Golbat, that's how mad I was. But I didn't want to get Officer Jenny to find out and give me 15 to life. I make it to Blackthorn City. I withdraw Gordon Vold and give it a rare candy. That way, when I use a repel in Route 45, it increases my chances to only catch a Graveler or a Gligar. I am pulling the slots for a Gligar, and we win. So happy I could self-destruct. I switch to Soup and start throwing Great Balls, and uh-oh, it knows Poison Sting, but I catch it fast. I name it Stamley 2. Friendship with Stamley is ended. Gligar is my new best friend. But as fancy as Gligar looked, I always go back to who was there for me. And my wife. I always go back to my wife. This hat hole tells me the leader is missing in action. I came all this way. I need to beat this game. In my travels, I find a graveler, and I had my slowpoke out, and it couldn't run. It used self-destruct, and I get some illegal experience points. Nuzlocke ruined. Well, the run really ended after youngster Joey, so I guess I'll continue. But please, don't tell Officer Jenny. I reluctantly go to Goldenrod City to continue the game. I get some PTSD to going to the radio station as I used to work in one in real life. I fight all the grunt clones. At the top, I rescue the director, but it's an imposter. That's pretty sus. I kick his ass, but the radio tower was a red herring. He gives me a basement key. Time to go run some more errands. Damn, I just want to fight the 8th gym leader. I go get Beavis, just in case we battle a grunt with another self-destructing Pokemon. Would have been nice a few minutes ago, but better late than never. In the basement, I get Beavis a haircut. I get busted by... Or was that John Halo? And by now his team is getting beefy. He sends out a Golbat who confuses Soup, and then hurts himself in confusion instead of using confusion. In frustration, Stanley goes in and uses a nice punch and kills him with kindness. Then he sends out his stolen Sneasel, who eventually gets double kicked to death. He sends out a Haunter, so I send out Digma, who uses Lig. Haunter puts a curse on us, and he sends out a Magnemite who gets one hit KO'd to Dig. And out comes Quilava. And out comes Soup, who makes easy work, and Soup evolves into Stew. Now to put him on the back burner so the rest of the team can earn some EXP. When I get to the director at the end, he is so happy he gives me a card key, and that means I can go back to the radio tower. Jeez, it feels like I'm putting in another shift at work. Where is my paycheck or some dopamine? I get Gordon Vold out of the box, make him forget Tackle End.
Sonic Boom!
And put him in the daycare with Flubber and plan to bike around before Claire. But I still have grunts to destroy. P-Ram is leveling up nicely. The executive grunts show no challenge and the director gives me a Rainbow Wing. That'll come in clutch, but first I'll need a Master Ball. Off to the gym leader. But first I need to bike. A lot, so Gordon Vold, my Electrode, can get big ups. Several hours later, Electrode got to level 44, as well as Gyarados, who I leave in the daycare for now as I don't need Slinky on my team. Here we go for real this time. The 8th gym. I'm no run-of-the-mill trainer. I'm Duke Nuke. I kill all her followers with no fear of death myself, and before you know it, it is time to get that Hive badge. Claire sends out a Dragonair. I send out Soup, our beloved Slowbro first. Soup finishes off the first Dragonair after being paralyzed several times with Dragon Breath. Claire is about to send out another Dragonair, so I send out P-Ram in anticipation of it knowing Thunderbolt. It paralyzes P-Ram and I spend some turns to heal Soup. Then I spend the fight fighting through my paralysis and whittling down its health with thunder punches. Claire sends out a third Dragonair and I send out a freshly healed Slowbro who gets paralyzed, but I fight through the paralysis and with Ice Punch who gets frozen. Cold never bothered me anyway, and we take out the third Dragonair. Claire is about to send out a Kingdra. This is do or die. I can't use electricity or ice for super effectiveness because it is a dragon and water type. And that's not even mentioning its high special attack. This Kingdra ends runs. but I don't plan on letting that happen. I brought a Pokemon for a special occasion here, and this is where Golden Voldemort comes into play. I use Explosion, and is it going to take out the Kingdra? Is she going to end this run? Nope. That strategic plan took over 5 hours of grinding EXP in the daycare, so Electrode with no explosion. Voldemort has redeemed his arc, and I forgive him for killing Harry Potter. Rest well, Gordon Vold. You died so this run can live. Claire is stuck up and won't give me my earned badge. In the Dragon's Den, I find a capturable Magikarp. Uh-oh. I better use a fastball on it. Oh, darn. It uses Splash, but it misses. Thank God, that could have been the end for poor Stanley. Thankfully, we catch it before any of our Pokemon die, and we name the unstoppable beast Captain Crunk. And to preserve the balance and integrity of this run, we are not going to be using it. Claire reluctantly gives us our earnings, and we go to the Better Business Bureau. When we leave the cave and get cell phone reception, Professor Elm calls us and tells me to get my ass down there ASAP. Thinking I'm about to be fired, I am thrilled when it's good news and he gives me a Master Ball. This would have been coming candy in the Dragon Cave. Before heading to the Elite 3, we go back to Morty's home and then go to the Tin Tower. Well, looking for a unique Pokemon, all I find are Rattatas. But then I find a Ho-Oh. I use my Master Ball on it as it is my newest ball, and what do you know, I catch Ho-Oh. Finally, a flyer for our team. I name it Ashley, who is watching this video at this very moment. You need to brush your hair. Our Pokemon trust us very much, and we get the TM37. They shouldn't though. This TM is as useful to us as our trust is deserved. Our next encounter on our way to the league is a Doduo. Still a better Pokemon than Pidgeotto. Well, that killed it. Geez, Soup is even stronger than I thought. I'll take that as a good sign. I'm still grinding on every trainer along the way. I regret the no grinding rule nearly every battle, and I do feel bad about using the daycare to level up both Gordon Vold and Slinky. I may make that a rule in a future challenge. After a very lengthy battle, we deplete all of the Starmie's recover PP. A true mini-boss here, leaving us with only confusion with Soup. All our Pokemon are going to develop diabetes. After healing by all this lemonade. Before entering the next cave, I spend some time and give out some TMs to freshen up my moveset. In the cave, we find a mother effing Onix. What a letdown. An Oddish has a higher attack level than an Onix. I don't want it bad, so I throw all my Pokeballs at it. A Great Ball finally does the trick. I have to nickname it, so I call him Hijiki. I patted myself on the back after the success of that nickname. In the cave, I did a bit of shiny hunting, as it is my only chance to catch another Pokemon before the league. Of course, I'm joking. I just ran into a lot of Pokemon walking in the cave. Like 4 steps. Am I even getting anywhere? And here is the final battle with... He is becoming a better person along the way. All it takes is kicking his ass. I know his name is John Halo, but I'll keep calling him. Leads with a Sneasel, who nicknamed him Asswipe. And I lead with Ligma, who one hit KOs him with a Rock Slide. That absolute fool sends out a Magneton, named Larry. You know what happens next? I get paralyzed, and I accidentally misclick on Strength. I switch out to Stamley, who takes it out with 2 double kicks. That's 4 kicks in total. Here comes the Kadabra. He named it Uri Geller. You know, if you were more friendly, we could get you in Alakazam. Also, you'll have to have some trade link cables. But for now we battle. I send out Soup, and Soup should have no trouble with this. And he one-hits it with Surf. Goodbye, Kadabra. Quarter Pounder, his Golbat is next. What, not friendly enough to get a Crobat? He uses a Confuse Ray, but it matters none because Soup is too dumb. He kinda laid me in with a smash down combo. He hit me with my own fist. Then he used Bite, and the future attack hit me, so I decide to send out P-Ram because I'm low on health. P-Ram finishes the job with a Thunder Punch. Sends out Radaboom, his Haunter, another Pokemon a friend would come in handy to evolve. I heal Ligma with a full restore, and we get cursed. And we finish off the Haunter with Rock Slide, and it's time to finish him off. His stolen Typhlosion named Ratatouille is all he has left, and I throw some Soup at it. It uses Smokescreen and gets some critical hits. Is hacking! That's why he wins, and also why he doesn't have any friends. It all makes sense now. But even with his hacks, I am smarter and couldn't win. And now it's time. It's the story of the Nuzlocke. We are here at the Elite 3. First up is will.i.am, taking a break from his tour with the Black Eyed Peas. He sends out a Xatu, who gets Ice Punched, nearly one hit, and Soup finishes it off with Confusion. With 87 health left and an Executor coming, I switch out to Ashley, and we avoid a Leech Seed while we use Fly. We slap him in the middle face with a critical hit. Will sends out a Slowbro, so I send out P-Ram, obviously, who paralyzes Slowbro with a Thunder Punch. And we finish it off with a Fire Punch, just to show it who's boss.
Hail to the king, baby.
Jinx is coming out. P-Ram is staying in. I use a Fire Punch and Jinx is faster than me, but 2 Fire Punches is all it takes. Here comes the second Xatu, with the return of Soup, who gets confused with Confuse Ray, but it's okay because he gets frozen with Ice Punch. And nope, not happening today. Will uses a max potion he has been sitting on that for just a while. He trade hits, and I use a hyper potion. Soup just really hates himself as he keeps hitting himself. Soup finally takes down Xatu with a critical hit for max swag. Will can't believe it, and neither can you. This Elite 3 challenge is underway. Drink the lemonade, and here we go. Koga is next. He got a promotion from the last game. He leads with a spider. Ew. Wow, he's going to be using poison Pokemon. Too bad I'm using a poison type Pokemon. I hope that doesn't mess up his strategy. He used Double Team once and it is pretty scary, but somehow Stamley managed to hit every one of his Surfs. And I get no experience because it's a bug type. He is sending out a Venomoth next, and Stamley stays in, and I change my mind and send out Ashley, and I avoid a Psychic. And thank goodness, I was distracted for a moment, and I got to think about it. That could have been the end for Stamley. I use Fly and win. Muck is next, so I send out Stamley, use a Surf, but he uses Minimize. I see what an Iron Tail does, and it's a bit better. Kinda not in love with this fight right now. Then I miss. Was happy I managed to hit too. I heal quick and Muck uses Acid Armor, so I try and run from the battle. I switch out to Ashley, who gets poisoned right away. This Muck is harder than I thought. I switch to Soup, who kills it with Confusion. Fortress is next, and it shouldn't be any trouble for Ashley. It's a bug steel type. It should go down to 1 sacred fire, and so it does. Crobat is his last Pokemon, and P-Ram gets to strut her stuff. Take down Crobat to Red Bar, but Koga uses a full restore, but he has only 1, so a couple Thunder Punches later, we win. How was this guy on the Elite 3? His Muck was his only challenging Pokemon. Bruno Mars? Whoa! Can I have your autograph? You're a little taller than I thought you'd be, but it's nice to meet you, you're my idol. Uptown Funk is going to play as I walk down the aisle on my 2nd wedding. I use my 3 rare candies on Stanley, and Karen is our next challenge. I want to talk to the manager of the Elite 3, please. She sends out an Umbreon, and it's time to double kick. Her strategy of Pocket Sand and Confuse Ray didn't work this time. Karen sends out a Vileplume, and I switch to Ashley, who dies to Sacred Fire. Gengar is next, and believe it or not, but in the Elite 3, I am switch training for Stanley. Ashley takes out Gengar easy because he used Curse. Murkrow is next. Stanley makes it look like it's been trained by Faulkner. Karen is down and out and had only her Houndoom left. I used a full restore on Ashley and a critical hit crunch. I'll just hyper potion that out. With my potions and fly, I do the deed. The Elite 3 are done. Bye, bitch. Off to the champion, who happens to be Batman, the Dragon Master. I think Gyarados is used first by Batman, so I lead with P-Ram. Rain Dance, but it doesn't matter. I one punch it with Thunder Punch, and 2017 experience. Like the year. Peak comedy here on GP Does. Like, comment, and subscribe. Batman sends out Robin, his Dragonite. This is why we gave you those drugs, Stanley. We use Ice Punch, which doesn't 1 hit, but it does it in 2. Jason Todd, the 2nd Dragonite, is next. We use Ice Punch again, but Jason Todd knows Blizzard. And there goes Stanley, my first subscriber. You know, I haven't seen him in a while. Time for soup to sweep the rest of Batman's entire team. This is for you, Stanley. I set up with Curse, mostly for that defense. Too bad I don't have a physical attack to take full advantage. The 2nd Robin is dead. Batman sends out Tim Drake, his 3rd Robin. I'm worried to hell about Thunderbolt, but I have to leave in soup to see what happens. It uses Outrage, so I spam heal until it hits itself in confusion. It may not be the thriftiest of challenges, but it should get job done.
I am never gonna financially recover from this.
I use Curse 6 times. I'm not switching out. I kid you not, I spend almost $50,000 in medicine, and Robin number 3 runs out of Outrage PP and hits himself 1 too many times, and we get the dub. Aerodactyl comes out and uses Hyper Beam, which does like 12 damage, 13 damage, but it goes down, and that's why we spent all that money to upkeep the Curse defense. Batman's Charizard is next, and we leave soup in, and we use Surf. Charizard's Flamethrower does way more damage than Hyper Beam. Let that sink in. Batman uses Hyper Beam with his Charizard and does 9 damage. We finish our Nuzlocke with Surf. And we did it. The champion is us. Dookie Nukie. Hail to the king, baby. This has been a long journey with many trials that we have persevered through together as a team. Maybe the real Nuzlocke was the friends we made along the way.